Good morning, everyone. We're on day 3, live stream. I hope that nobody was in that massive dump yesterday. On the not on the right side. Let me say it like that. It was one huge movement yesterday. So let's go over the charts for a second. Let me give me some analysis and show you where we are at. Let's take the 4 hour for a second. Okay. So my main expectation from yesterday was to get up to that 4 hour for value gap. We did not reach that one because I did not watch my surroundings good enough. So if I had watched it good enough, we could have seen that this was good. Let's take this one off today's. I could have seen perfectly that there was one here, a daily gap that we should have kept notion over. And also, once we got down to the movement, we came to so what 50% of that for value gap. Once we've done that, that means that the momentum of the movement of the overall market could jump in and make it to the same movement like it should be doing, and that was downwards. Now, overall, I was in profit yesterday. I made around 350. It's not that much, but if we can accumulate that with a few accounts, that could be more than people even need. So, say that we make around $300 a day or more. We do this with 5 accounts. That means that we make 1,500 a day. If we can do that for like 10 days, that's 15,000. I'm very happy with 15,000 making. So now, first of all, let's go over the day and see what we're at. So we did tap that for value gap. We took out most of the lows, not all of them. So there is still liquidity here. This one's not been tapped. So I'm taking a close look, and if we could reach those lows, yesterday's bearish momentum was being taken up very fast, now the second time. So I'm wondering if we could see a change in direction, because if we see a few huge wicks and we taken out a lot of liquidity, that means that the change of state could definitely take another direction. Now, after yesterday's news, that was one huge candle. If anybody was in that, I think you definitely will know. Let me take you back to yesterday's. This was exactly 2:30 in the afternoon, like I said in the morning, that we could have a huge spike. That was a spike of 0.7% in Nasdaq. That's huge, guys, or women. So where are we at today? Like you can see, in the 15 minutes, we're a bit sideways. At the 8 o'clock, we took liquidity, but we tapped into this 15-minute for value gap twice now. I don't have a clear bias today, except if the majority of the movement was still down, I would still aim for lower prices. But at this point, we're just moving in a sideways direction without the market showing me a clear hand. So if it doesn't show me a clear hand, I will be not trading at the moment until I see a clear direction. Now, what do I mean by that? First of all, we came into a 15-minute upwards. We kept in it, so that's great. Now I want to see a strong push lower, but because we already tapped those 15 minutes twice now, I'm not so sure that we come back here one more time, because I prefer us to see taking out liquidity above first before we see a continuation going downwards. So I'm eager more to take along to take out this liquidity up here than to go directly down here. So I see what the market brings in a few minutes. Give it a bit of time to develop the movement, and then we'll see clear what it wants to take. So in 5 minutes, what have we seen now since opening price? 8 o'clock, we came down, we spiked in it. 8:20, 8:15 again, then we rallied off. At 9 o'clock, we came back, tapped this 5 minute for value gap that it left open for the 9 o'clock. To reach back into it from the 8 to 9, the market makers show each other their hand. So that's why I'm expecting a bit more higher prices now than lower prices. So now, second of all, again, with this candle, we've taken out first base liquidity. So let's see what brings us. Let's take the minute chart for a second. Even in the minute chart, there's not much been going on or showing me its hand really, because normally I watch for value gaps being created and see how the market reacts on them. But at this point, there are no fair value gaps in between here. So the only thing that I can go over now is time-based liquidity and see where markets take liquidity and then rally away from. So, or fast move away from. So now it's the second time. So it went in here and it moved away. It went in here, it moved away. So now I was expecting to see some kind of liquidity being grabbed. That was here. So now I want to see if we have a sharp reaction away from here. Then I would take a long. Stops would be at this candle's body. Main target would be, of course, up here, or that gap. But it depends on how the market moves here, of course. Because at this point, I would not take a long or a short, because there is no clear direction. And then, as trader, we have to be patient. We just have to be patient. It's a skill that you only learn once you are long enough in the game. And if you do want to do this and you want to make your profession out of it, out of trading, you need to be patient. You need to wait until the market shows its hand, and then we can move along with it. Excuse me, guys. I will leave this open on the 1 minute. I will take my other chart for myself so I can enter trade if it's needed. So in the next 2 minutes, the market, I believe, will show me its hand, where it wants to go. Okay, so if it moves and it stays above those highs now, I would take a long, of course, because I was expecting that move. It will be only a 2 contract in. It needs to stay above. The 15-minute is not closed yet. It's 1 more minute, and the 5 minutes also 1 more minute, so it can go either direction. And those seconds. Yeah, looks like it wants to go that direction. So come on, hop.
Order filled.
Put my stop down here. And aim for that one. It was before the candle was closed, so it's a bit insecure. So that's why I took only a 2 contract. It's only a very small trade I'm taking here. If I'm 100% sure, I would have more, of course. At this point, I was not 100% sure. I just saw the movement and I reacted on that movement. So most of the time, it is accurate. But because of this 15-minute did not just closed at the same levels like all the others were, there was a huge gap here and we did not see any strong movement out of it. I wanted to be very short with my stops. And this is why, because now we're taking out liquidity here. And we are in a sideways range. So because we take out lower liquidity twice, I was expecting us to take out that liquidity. I hope to take out everything above. So we will see in a few minutes what happens. If it does not and it reverses on us, I'm definitely would short this. But that would at this point is not accurate. So let me take you guys to the upper movement. So if we see a 5-minute chart like this, it looks bullish, of course. So why did I put my stop here and not down here? Because if it does come here and it takes out this wick, it will take out this one too. So in the 1 minute, you can see I put it on the bodies. It leaves a little bit more room left. Otherwise, it would be 50. Now it's 44. So if you can do that every time, it saves you a lot in profit over time. I'm not gonna micromanage this one, so I'm just gonna keep a close look in how the market reacts. Because at this point, I'm not 100% sure it wants to continue at all. Looks like it's a bit unvalued. By the way, in the afternoon, we have news. It's heavy news this afternoon at 2:30 again. So if you're in trades, stay out. Unless you know how to trade news events. If you do, very good. If you don't, stay out of them until you are sure that you can flow with the market, stream it. So because it can give you a lot of funds, but it can also give you a lot of defunding. So if you're on the right side of the market, you will have a huge profit. But if you're not on the right side of the market, then that can curse your account. So be careful, guys. Just let it pass and then jump in the movement, because overall, once you see the market shows you its hands after the news event, normally you can flow with it, because then it has a huge movement afterwards. Like, let me show you from yesterday. So we're going, what 14th? So look, This was the news event from yesterday. Let me take a 5 minute because you can really see that candle is like so here was the news event. I believe yesterday 14th. It was around 9. Here this was the news event. So we went up. After that news event, you saw the market just go sideways a bit, and then it flushed everything out. So we did came down. Very beautiful. So once you see this movement and it does not directly push higher, you can imagine that it wants to go lower. So you saw it came back. It did not tap the highs because here is the liquidity then from the market makers, and they do not want to, of course, push their own hands out of it. So this would be the market makers' hands. Look at this. 1, 2, almost 3 times we came back to the high and we did not tap it at all. So if you would have put your stop just above that, you would be perfectly fine. And you had 1, 2, 3 chances to jump in this market and then to move with the flow. Now back to where we are. Now here's the same. So this looks like a choppy market. So if we do get stopped out, I believe I won't trade until I have a clear movement. Oh, by the way, I still need to show you guys we made yesterday, by the way. So yesterday, let's go in settings. So yesterday we were at 1,300, now 300 and bit, and now we're on 27. So this week we made 757. Yeah, 57. Last week we made 1,000 and a bit in one trade. So if you have a great trade and you can leave it run, you can make nice profits. So now we're just holding on, having a bit patience. We see what the market will bring us in a few minutes. So now we're at 700. If I can make around $350, $400 a day, $500 a day, I'm very happy. Even if I have just one great trade on the day, and if this one runs to my TP, and I did not add any contracts, I would not even trade an extra day, an extra time. I'm happy. It's a positive feeling. It's not the greatest profit. I know that too, but I still have the afternoons, the news events coming out. So I'm all accounting that possibilities to have another trade moment. I never overtrade. I just want to enjoy trading. And overtrading, I do mean by that deleting your account. So you can see it's like $40 that I put into this. So this is like nothing. If you make around $300-400 a day, you can do multiple trades like this. And you only have to have one great trade to win everything back. So if this trade just runs to the highs here, that's like half of my day already. And if it does then run to what I really wanted to see, that would be double my day. And these trades do happen, guys. And so I've seen it happen multiple times. Just being patient, seeing what happens. So the main reason why I jumped in this trade, first of all, we came down here again. We tapped twice that for 15-minute for value gap. We are slightly in an upward movement. Why? Because we made a fair value gap, we tapped in it, we did not close beneath it, and we continuously move higher now. You always watch the previous fair value gaps. You don't watch 3, 4 back in time. We watch really the previous one that we can see, because we are trading right now and not an hour, 10 hours ago, 15 hours ago. We are only trading with the movement here directly. So if we do have one more sharp push, I would put my stop just below here to eliminate almost everything. Because once we see pushments and we see it 2 times, yeah, that means that we have a nice, we'll be getting a strong momentum movement. So that's what I like to see. So now we came twice above this liquidity here. So my indicators say now that we are possibly going up higher. So if I want, I could put my stop already here. So this is eliminated, it's like everything, it's like $15. So let's see what it brings us. So now we're taking out first liquidity. And then I need to be very carefully, because if we do take out this liquidity and it does come back, I'm just going to put my stops equal to my highs now. So I'm on break even. So this would be first TP, guys. If you want to take profits, that would be the first partial you can take, because it did not stay above that liquidity. So here you should do one sell. I'm not going to do that because it's not worth it. But if you are in multiple contracts and you're trading with me, guys, just take one partial or 2 partials and put your stops on break even now, because this can just come back, and it can come back very fast. Because look, you can see we tapped and we did not stay above it. So I don't like to see that. That means that just was going for liquidity. Still being patient. So once we see a gap here like this, normally it pushes down and then it's got to push fast up. So now it closed that gap, and now I want to see it continue push harder. If it's not, it's going to come step us out. I'm okay with that. We got plenty of time. The reason why I put up my stops a bit faster today was because I saw this move, and if this comes back, then I can perfectly take another trade without giving anything to the markets, because it's being good with money management like this. So if I'm very sure of my trades and I have a very nice setup and it's like my perfect hand, I would leave my stops where it is. I would never move it, because I know if I don't, I get much greater risk to reward, and it would have a huge potential moving upwards. So I'm still talking to myself. Oh, it's so funny to see this. I used to be doing this a lot more. So the potential upwards is so big. If we do get to my entry possibilities where I want to see us go, that's why I'm leaving it. Because if we do hit that top, that means 700. I'm not gonna give $50 for 700 away. Just gonna put it on $5 now. Okay, and now I'm gonna let it run. So that was now my first liquidity base that I was talking about, that it could take out. That is the line that you can see. Why was it there? Because first of all, look, this stops is like the last bit of liquidity that's here. We are in a 15-minute fair value gap that already was being taken out. But we came from internal to external, guys. This is external liquidity. So the next target would be up here. Well, we have to see how this one closes. Looks like it wants to keep pushing above that one. So that's great to see. So it could mean that we are heading up to the next liquidity pool. Give you guys the 1 minute back so you can follow. Watch how the candles move and how they react, because this is how you learn how to read candles, guys. It's very important that you see what I see and that you see how they react, how they are being formed. Are they very aggressive? Are they pushing constantly higher? Is there a lot of force in it? If yes, that means that we have a nice continuation. If not, okay, yeah, that it is like what it is then. So look, if this one closes above here and it has like the wick up here, dude, that means that this candle will just keep rushing. If it comes back down here and it stays under this liquidity, this is something I don't want to be seeing. We can push back down one more time to touch this. That's okay, even to here, because there is a small gap here. We have 1, 2 gaps, so that's why I can put my stop down here. We have 1, 2 for value gaps being pushed out. In the 5 minutes, you can see we already have a huge 5 minute for value gap here. I do not want to see it come back down here. Or, yeah, that would be shameful. So now I'm closely watching this. I'm keeping a very close eye at this now. How we react, how it continuously move upwards. If we do get to my point of view, we got 1 and a 5 minute is 1 other liquidity here. Because we're still in a downtrend, guys. So remember that. It's not because we've taken out some huge liquidity that we are gonna move to the moon on the upside. It's not. It doesn't work like that. Let me say it like that. If I see it move too much down, I will take a partial. Would be a waste of funds, of course. So I can move down to halfway. So after a strong push and taking out liquidity, I don't want to see this movement. This is way too strong. So I can't, like I said, it can't tap into that one. But that's it. It should have movement away from this area again. I'm rather fast. But we were 2 minutes in that 5 minute for 5 minute candle. So also look, once you see these movements in a 1 minute, zoom a little bit out, take your 5 minutes on it. So you can see we were about 2 minutes of this 5 minutes. So we just closed that gap right here. So that's normal for a market to do. So if you are stuck on the 1 minute and you are insecure, zoom out, watch it. Watch how the market shows you its hand. So you don't get confused of what the market wants to show you. You need to be aware of everything when you're trading. It's way opposite of anything else you have ever done in your life. So is it easy? Yes. Once you get the hang of it and know what to do, it's very easy. But it takes some time, a lot of practices to get to where I have been. So I want you guys to just listen, study, follow along, and see that you can get there just as easy as I have. Just take some patience and some time, that's all. And that we have plenty, because all of this has been recorded, so you can rewatch it. There's a lot of value in here, more than I ever know. Yeah, more than I ever got for free, let me say it like that. And know that people ask a lot of money for showing you how to trade live, guys. It's not something that everybody wants to do. So now we came back twice. I don't like to see this. The last 30 seconds, I want us to see push up higher. If we do close halfway, I definitely don't want to see that. Yeah, in that 15 minutes, we still have 10 minutes, so we could still possibly move up higher. But we already moved a few points in the hourly. It looks less good. It just looks like we taken out liquidity up and now down too. So, okay, I'm closing this sell one.
Order filled.
Looks like it wants to come down. Looks like I just wanted to take liquidity up and now move the other direction. So that's why I said you guys to take partials once we hit that target. Come on, Didi. Oh, move, please. Go up. Oh, this one was staples out. Or tapos out. And now I'm gonna have a bit of patience and see what we react. Now because we take now time-based liquidity.
Order filled.
So that one tapped us out. I want to see the reaction now because it also closed this complete candle. If we do see momentum further downwards, I would definitely take a short from here. No reason to long here now anymore. The market changed its direction already. I'd like to see us get up to this gap, especially because we're on a 15-minute candle. Being patient, not eager to jump into this trade. I want to see how this 15-minute closes. This is my main priority now. Having patience until I see what this 15-minute candle does. If you zoom out, we can see it can perfectly come back up. Maybe I just had to leave my stop down here. Would have been smarter. Still be in the trade then. So if you notice something and you're trading, write it down so that you can rewatch it, so that you don't do the same thing over and over again. Mike will be off for a minute. So to go over my last analysis. So we're waiting now, or having patience until this 15-minute is closed to see the direction it wants to go. If we do close above that liquidity that we just grabbed again, I'm eager to take a long again and to continue moving upwards. But at this point, we have to be a bit patient. Let's take a 5 minute. So we still have 4 minutes. Take a coffee. In the meanwhile, I'm not trading in this 4 minutes. So or take a cocoa. If you're in Belgium, you can buy them from me. It's healthier than 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 coffee or than coffee. Oh my god. Oh, we're gonna speak Flemish and English together. Can you guys even hear me great? I hope so. That the mic works fine. I'm not listening myself, so I have no idea how loud or how not loud my mic goes at this point. It should be a good one, but you never know. Leave me a comment if you can hear me clear and everything works fine. So I know for myself too. Much appreciated. So let's see what this 2 minute brings. Excuse me. So yesterday's trading ended in a nice positive trading day. Thank you for letting me know. So we're on day 3. I'm on my trading journey of 2025. So we're up. So this was a new account, by the way. We're up $44 today, so it's not that much. So this week we've done 1,800 in a month now, so 1,300, 344 today. So we're still early in this morning session, so everything could be fine. I want to trade this up multiple accounts for you guys so that you can see it's possible. So that's why I'm doing this. I've done this multiple times already, so I don't need to do this, but I just want to show you that it's possible to start from zero and make it. It's better to take small steps and grow it constantly than everybody showing you that they make thousands of dollars equally, constantly. Don't believe it. It's only if they dare to show you their hands and show you that you can do it. Believe only those guys, please. Did I learn from my mistakes? Of course. I've blown some accounts multiple times too, so that's why I know it. And I don't know many people that can do it. I do know 2 of them. One of them is my mentor. He does it also, live trading constantly. Some people already heard from him. It's Casper, or AKA Jesse. It's a very great trader, by the way. People talk about him, not always positive, but that is one good trader. So now, why am I out of my trade? First of all, I was in here. I should have left my stops, really. That was my mistake. But now I'm holding to take another trade because this does not show me any indicator at this point that we want to go up or down. Especially after taking liquidity twice now. And I don't like to see us have a sharp reaction back in it. So if we stay sideways above it, I like it. But not if we have a sharp reaction in it, especially if we have been going down for quite a while now. After that, now let's take the 1 minute chart. So if we see the 1 minute chart now, we can see we came in, we tapped liquidity, we came back up, we came in this fair value gap. So that's what I like to see if you want to see the continuation downwards. Now, what do I want to see next is another fair value gap being created and then being tapped into it one more time to see us have a continuation downwards, because we have two fair value gaps here. We had one up here that shows us we want to go down, but we also had one here that shows us that we want to go up because we did not get beneath it yet. So I want to see it get inverted. So we really need to rally through it to be 100% sure that we have a continuation downwards. That's where I'm aiming at this point still, to go lower. The reason why is because we've taken out time-based liquidity again, and we have a continuation moving lower. Gonna put my mic off for a second, guys. I'm getting a bit concentrating me on the chart for a second, so I would be quiet anyways. You will see when I enter a trade, it will pop up on the screen directly. So We still have about 8 minutes in this 15-minute for value gap, or in this 15-minute candle. So in this 15 minutes afterwards, we will see what happens. If we have this candle being formed lower and lower, getting it, we can just be another sideways movement for the next half an hour. This is what can be fun or not fun in the markets, of course. But normally I don't trade around 11. I would be waiting until the afternoon again to trade, because 11 o'clock is like the maximum time that I'm on the screens in the pre-noon. So I'm already an hour and a half on the screen. So if you trade too long and too much time, it takes a lot of energy from myself. So I will have a little bit more patience and see how this has been created. So my main targets of time-based liquidity is, I start normally at 9, opening of London session. So that would be so that will be 4 o'clock. I believe so. It's London session. I think it's 1 hour past hours. No, it's 9 o'clock. It's same as mine. Oh no, it's not. It's not same as mine. Like I said, yeah, it's 10 o'clock in my time zone. But I always put it on New York time zone. I trade New York's also. So what you need to keep in mind is London time zone. So when this opens, we can have a reaction or a movement. When do we see that again? That's a trade here too. That's 9:30 in the afternoon. So that is around 3:30 in Belgium time. And then I have an opening to trade until 12. So this is already a huge time zone. So here I trade in. This is trading time for me. And normally from here till 11. So this is about this time zone. And then I can do one more time if I still have energy to trade, because it takes energy, guys, to trade. And I can do here to 3:30. So this would be the afternoon time zone of New York. So this is London time zone that I trade in, and these two I trade in the afternoon always. And this is evening already for me. If you ever want to, these are the most accurate movements of markets. So why do I not trade before 3:30 in the afternoon? That's because I want to wait until the market has shown me its hand. And I never trade at 9 o'clock. I always wait till 9:15 also before I start moving entries. Because at 9 o'clock you can see a huge movement of opening prices, and then we can just see a choppy market for a second. Now I wanted to see what the market want to show me its hand into, and at this point it doesn't really show anything of movement. So I believe it will be around 12 o'clock that we see a huge movement. So if you don't see a movement in the in the morning session, I'm gonna say pre-noon. Oh. We only see it then around the noon session, so between 12 and 1 you can also see a nice movement, but I prefer not to trade that part. That means it's 11 o'clock in London time zone. So we have 3 more minutes. Let's see how this one brings. If we zoom out the 1 hour, it just closed it, so it can't stop move upwards at this point. We just closed. We just have a small gap here. It was a nice movement. The only thing I don't like about this candle is that we left a wick here and we did not go above this liquidity pool. So if we see normally a continuation, I want us to see it end above that liquidity pool to see a nice movement further upwards. Now on the 15 minutes, what did we see? We just closed and we reacted completely above the liquidity pool. So that's great to see. So now I want to see how we react in these last 2 minutes. If we do stop and get to say somewhere around the same height of this candle, I believe we have a continuation to the next liquidity pool. And that would be up here or here. The only thing then is, do we find an entry point? Because that is not a big trade, guys. So I would not take this trade because this is not worth it. If we could go up to here, then that would be worth it. So always keep in mind, I want to have it like almost a 2R. That would be great. But then this market needs to show me its hand. It wants to go up higher, and in the 5 minute it shows more that it wants to go lower instead of going higher. So that's why I wait until these candles are closed. So same here. If we see one more push down, I would take an entry. The 15 minutes, we have about 1 more minute. Just based on the overall movement of this market. And by the way, we take out liquidity. That's why I'm aiming for lower prices, not higher. The next minute will definitely show me its hand. And if we do go lower, we have a huge momentum still that we can grab. So I would go in 3 micro contracts with this one. I'm a bit more confident on this trade. The great thing would be if we could come up here in this gap of this 1 minute per value gap. If we could tap that one, that would be a very nice indication, and then have a short reaction back down. That would be have a nice indication that we are definitely moving lower. Still being patient. We still have 22 seconds. Yeah, no, the market moves, but that's okay. The market moves always. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna jump in 3 micros.
Order filled.
I put the bump here. Targets would be the lows of the day. I'll let the market do its thing now. I am gonna move my stops rather closely because we have taken liquidity twice now, and we did not really show a strong push in a direction. So I'm gonna take a very close look and put my stops closer and closer to it, to the movement constantly. So anybody got that why I took this trade? I hope so. That's why I'm here, to teach you how to take these trades. and to learn you what I see. So now we're taking first liquidity base. So we want to see push strong through it. The reason why I took 3 micro contracts on this one because I was quite confident on this trade. Normally my stop losses are around $200. Look, it was even too less. I did not calculate that one directly. I just went in the trade without thinking. I just done. So if we go below here, I would take 1 micro off. That would be my first target. Oh, sorry guys, you couldn't see that. So if you go below here, that would be my first target. We'll see how we react now. That was also important. So this would be my first target really, or just a candle would be great too. And then let the rest run. So we still have 2 micros then left. We've taken out some liquidity already. So this one, I should not see it come back up here. Okay. If we stay along around this area, I would take 1 micro off already. Because this is liquidity already where we're at. And I want to see us move water quickly through this. Then stay here. That means that we are in a choppy market and we can move the other direction again. So I want to see us clearly push through this. If not, I'm just gonna take 1 partial here.
Order filled.
It's not much, I know. It's just profit taking. It was a very aggressive trade. And we tap now twice this liquidity, and I don't like to see this. So, oh. Let me take you to the minute. So we tapped twice this liquidity here. 3 times, and we did not push through it, so I don't like to see this. And I actually want us to see push through it. We could come back up here. We have a nicer value gap, perfectly fine. I do not want us to see a come us above this height here. On this candle here, we should not go above this line. If we do, then it's gonna stop us out, of course. But main targets is all the way down here. So if we zoom out, what am I aiming for? Normally I would be aiming for the lows of the day from yesterday. So this would be my main target. So I would be happy with this 300 and a bit for only giving $20 back. So I'm happy to just leave this trade open. If you are in multiple contracts trading with me, guys, please take a partial here. Even if it's a small one. I know some people don't listen when I say 3 micro contracts. People put in 10, 15 micros directly. I've seen it happen before, so if you are on a prop firm too, guys, make sure you have a maximum drawdown on a day. Write that down, how much it is. So I also do this for myself. So my maximum drawdown on one day is 400. I cannot take more than 400 in a not positive day, and then I have to lock myself out. I do lock myself completely out of this trading then. I need to take a walk, read a book, have some fun with my kids or my wife, and then come back the next day. And by the end of the trading day, I always write down what went right and what did not go right. So today, I should have taken a partial here with you guys together. On the upper part, I only took it when it was already back here. So this is keep it to your plan. That's the first thing. So this is second liquidity that we are now tapped into. That would have been the other partial. Like I said, guys, take a partial. Again, I can only tell you guys, especially because if you see such a wick here now, I want to see this continue. It has a strong reaction back upwards. I'll put it on the highs. I don't want to see him come back up here. It's too high. So why do I not want to see us come back up here? First of all, we had a huge gap. This is the runaway, and that's the second wave. So normally this would be the target where we should not come back. Why? There are equal highs here, but we rallied away from this. But like this is a lot of force that's in it, and I don't like to see that. Also, if you watch this 15-minute, we just tapped, took liquidity, and had a huge push up. So if it stops us out, let be it so. That's why I said take some partials, guys. And I believe it will. Looks like we're in a sideways range. And I don't like ranging markets. Let's see what it does in the next 50 seconds. Gonna take some lines out. Too many things on my charts. I don't like it. Well, in the 1 minute, that was a huge for value, a huge gap that we closed off, and looks like it wants to continue. I said before too, it was a very fast entry. So if we take fast entries, we want to make sure that everything is fast. Taking profits are faster. Moving our stops are doing faster. Oh, it looks like it will come stop us out now. That's okay.
Order filled.
I am in profit still. Let's see what happens next. If we do watch the 1 hour now, you can see that we had so in the 1 hour, it looks like it wants to go up higher, but I did not expect this. I gotta be honest. So this was really a liquidity grab on both sides, upper and lower. Now, being patient and seeing what the market shows me its hand again. Did you also understand why I said to take a partial here? because look, 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 5 liquidities. By the way, on the 5 minutes, we had 1, 2, 3 liquidity grabs then, and that's a lot. Especially, this is 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock. So this is the entry base time of the opening of London. So London is never going to take itself out. If we want to go up higher, it will never take itself out. So that's why it's always a great momentum to put stops or take partials on these levels. That's a nice insight that you guys get. Letting price develop a little bit more now. We'll be on for the next half an hour, and then I will be closing the trade channel for today. So if anybody does crypto here, I got you guys a nice meme coin that you can join. Oh, maybe take a look first at the charts. Second, guys. See how this closes this candle. We've just taken out a whole bunch of liquidity again. I was here. So I want to see it close above and nicely above. Also, that was a 5-minute liquidity pool that we taken out. I want to see it cleanly close above.
Order filled.
That was not the best entry movement that I took. Did not see that the 5-minute was not completed yet. So this one should be below here now. Because we have a nice 5-minute fair value gap here. We did tap that pool of liquidity, but I did not see a continuation. The 15 minutes, we still have 9 minutes to go. This will be the last trade I'll be taking on the stream today. Target still the same, upwards movement. Gonna be very aggressive taking partials here. Oh, I will take very fast profit on this one.
Order filled.
Now I want us to see us stay above here very clearly and then continue moving upwards. This was a very mechanical way of trading still, It's not easy to keep doing the same momentum over and over again, even if the first trade went against you or the next one goes against you. You have to be mechanical in trading. It's not being emotional attached to anything. Just let it go. It's just a trade like another one. So why I took this trade was, first of all, we created for value gaps. We came down. We came in for value gap. We created a new one. We came in it. We pushed again. So now I want to see us rather quickly move further. If not, then we are definitely just in a sideways movement, like I drew on that box just a second ago for all of you to see that this was like a sideways in movement. So here, this was a sideways movement that we were in. I was just taking out liquidity uppers and lowers part first time. We can close this off, that's okay for me, but we cannot go through it again. Otherwise I will just maybe close it already here. Win or loss, like I said, this is the last trade I'll be taking on the stream. After this, I will be going offline for having some break time for myself, reading a book, and doing my other things that I still need to do. At this point, it still looks good. We came in a new for value gap, we created a new one, and we had a reaction off of it. So now I want us to stay above this part. Like this, and then move further away from it. This I don't like to see. We close below it again. I think the market's more having patience on the news event again from this afternoon. So anybody wants to trade and queue this afternoon at 2:30 in Belgium time or European zone +1, we have news event, guys. So I'll share. This is the website. Go check it out if you want to. We have huge major impact news for the markets. So be a bit careful if you're in it. It can move up or down very fast with this time zone. So if you know how to trade that, it's fine. Be in it. If not, stay out of it until its movement has done. It takes about 5 minutes after the movement that normally it will show you its hand where it wants to go. Just wanting to help. So this does look better now. We created a value gap, a new one. We are moving away from it. So this is what I want to see. I'll leave it on a 15 minute for a second. We still have 2 minutes to go here. I want to see a clean push above here to have a continuation at least. So main target is still up here. So that would be around $200-300. If we have a nice news event and it does push us higher, like it pushed us yesterday lower, we could take out all of this liquidity until here. But if you're in this trade with me, at least take a partial first up here, second partial maybe here, or watch the markets how they react. It's very important. If you leave an open TP, it's okay, but make sure that you can put your stops at least in profit or at baseline so that you don't give anything back to the market when it nearly hits or does hit your TP. So it looks like the market wants to come back down. I'll leave an open TP, so we will see what it hits or not. I will show you guys tomorrow if we did. Have a nice trading day, and I wish you all a very great day. See you guys tomorrow. Good evening. Good day. Evening. June doesn't leave.